All right, we are now rolling into the 4th hour of this trip, and for the first time since that slowdown back on the Turnpike, traffic is finally moving the way it should. We just spent a long stretch crawling through brake lights, construction, and what looked like a possible incident blocking a lane. And if you have ever been stuck in traffic like that, then you already know it does not just slow the truck down. It starts working on your patience too. You sit there watching the minutes disappear, hoping the road opens up again. Now things are loosening up, but this is actually where driving gets tricky. The moment traffic clears is usually when people relax too much, and that is when mistakes start happening. So this whole hour is really about that mental side of driving, how focus, fatigue, and decision-making show up near the end of a long run. And before we go any further, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Jay, the Gallavantor, and I have been driving over the road for more than a decade, running freight all across this country, from the wide-open highways out west to tight East Coast corridors just like this one. What I try to give you on this channel is simple and real. You are sitting in the front seat with me, seeing the road exactly as it happens and hearing what is going through a driver's mind while the miles roll by. No filters, no shortcuts, just real over-the-road life, 1 hour at a time. And if you have been riding with me for a while, then you already know something important. The last few hours of any trip are never just routine driving. That is when your mind starts getting tired, traffic patterns get unpredictable, and small decisions matter more than they did earlier in the day. So stay with me, because this stretch is going to show exactly how that plays out. And later on, once the sun goes down in the next hour, the tone of this drive is going to shift into something closer to a late-night road conversation. But for now, we are still in daylight, still moving south, and finally getting some breathing room on the highway. There goes a Flixbus passing us, running passengers between cities on a tight schedule. Different job than mine, but the same pressure to keep moving and stay on time. And just ahead is the Walt Whitman service area near Cherry Hill, one of the bigger rest areas on this stretch of the New Jersey Turnpike. A lot of drivers use this spot to reset after pushing through the heavier traffic north of here. I usually stop a little farther south where things are quieter, but this place always feels like a marker that says you made it through the worst of the congestion. So now that the road is finally opening up, let's keep rolling, because the next few miles are where this last stretch of daylight really starts to matter. We are coming up on exit 3 for Route 168 toward Camden, Woodbury, and the Atlantic City Expressway near Runnymede, New Jersey. You can see how the surroundings change a little through here. There are more trees along the highway, fewer buildings right up against the road, and the lanes narrow down to just 2 in each direction. It looks calm on the surface, but this stretch can get congested fast during rush hour because it feeds traffic toward Philadelphia and a lot of South Jersey commuter routes. So even when the road looks relaxed, you still have to stay mentally ready. That is part of the theme for this hour. Things are not always as calm as they look at first glance. And as we keep moving south, you will see exactly what I mean. And there goes somebody flying past like they are trying to race a police cruiser to the next county. I am holding steady at the posted 65 miles per hour, doing exactly what the road is asking me to do, and people are still blowing by like I am standing still. Speed always feels good in the moment, especially when traffic finally opens up. But the real question on a highway is never how fast you can go. The real question is how quickly you can react when something unexpected happens in front of you. Because out here, reaction time matters more than speed every single time. And this next stretch of road is full of places where that awareness becomes important. Now we are approaching exit 2 for Route 322 towards Swedesboro, Glassboro, New Jersey, and Chester, Pennsylvania. This whole area mixes older industrial towns, farmland history, and modern commuter traffic all in one corridor. Places like Glassboro date back to the colonial era and later became known for glass manufacturing, while Chester, across the river, grew as a shipbuilding and industrial center in Pennsylvania. So you are driving through layers of history without really noticing it unless you slow down and think about where you are. And that is one of the quiet things about long-haul driving. You pass through hundreds of stories every day, even when it just feels like another stretch of highway. But stay with me, because the road ahead is about to shift again. And just like that, a convertible comes flying past. There is something about driving with the top down that makes people want to feel speed a little more. Wind in the cabin, engine noise louder, that sense of freedom people chase when they get on an open highway. Nothing wrong with enjoying the drive, but enjoyment still has to stay balanced with awareness, because the highway can change in a second. And the closer we get to the end of a long run, the more important that balance becomes. Up ahead is the Clara Barton Service Area near Pedricktown, New Jersey, named after the Civil War nurse who founded the American Red Cross. Service areas like this are more than just fuel and food stops. For drivers, they are reset points, a place to stretch, clear your head, and get ready for the next segment of the trip. And mental resets matter most near the end of a long day, when fatigue starts creeping in quietly instead of all at once. We are not stopping here right now, but just passing it reminds you how important those breaks can be. Because the next section of road is going to need full attention, and as of now, I'm still in top shape to handle such pressure, but not for long though. I gotta stop ahead in mind. Here comes the toll plaza before we join I-295 southbound. Toll areas are always high attention zones. You have lane changes happening, drivers making last-second decisions, and traffic trying to sort itself out all at the same time. I have Easy Pass, so I keep things smooth and stay alert through the booth. After the toll, the left lanes merge, and then I have to work my way back toward the right lane safely. Nothing dramatic, just steady awareness and timing. That is really what professional driving comes down to most of the time. And as we move past this toll, the road ahead starts setting up one of the biggest visual moments of this trip. We passed the exits for Route 140 toward Penns Grove and Deepwater, then Route 49 toward Pennsville and Salem. These are the last exits before the Delaware Memorial Bridge. And you can already see the bridge coming into view out on the horizon. Bridges always change the feel of a drive. Once you commit to crossing, there is no shoulder to pull onto and no easy way out. You just stay steady, hold your lane, and keep moving forward. And sometimes the final hours of a long trip feel exactly like that too. No shortcuts, just focus and forward motion. So let's go ahead and take this climb. Now we are up on the Delaware Memorial Bridge, carrying I-295 across the Delaware River between New Jersey and Delaware. Traffic tightens a little here, and trucks need to stay in the right lanes. You also have traffic joining from Philadelphia on I-295 south, so positioning becomes important. This is where experience shows itself quietly. You are reading the flow of vehicles, remembering the layout of the road, and adjusting smoothly without sudden moves. Driving a truck has never been a brainless job. If you ever catch yourself not remembering the last few miles you drove, that is a sign you need to reset your focus or take a break. Because losing awareness out here can turn into trouble fast. For now though, just take in the view as we cross the river. At the bottom of the bridge there is another toll, and once we pass it, we officially enter the state of Delaware. And as we keep rolling south, we are getting closer to the point where daylight starts fading, and the next phase of this trip begins. Alright, we are through the toll at the bottom of the bridge now, officially in Delaware, and this is one of those moments where the drive feels simple on the surface, but actually requires a lot of quiet attention. Because right after a toll booth like that, everything starts happening at once. You have lanes peeling off to the right.
You have drivers trying to speed up after slowing down for the toll.
And at the same time, you are already thinking a mile ahead about where you need to be positioned next. In my case, I know these right lanes eventually exit, so I need to start working my way left safely while traffic is still sorting itself out. There is no rush in doing that. It is just about watching mirrors, reading gaps, and moving when the road gives you the space instead of forcing it. And that right there is something people do not always realize about trucking. Most of the job is not dramatic. It is quiet decision-making like this over and over again for hours at a time. So we stay patient, stay smooth, and keep moving toward I-295 South, which will carry us toward Wilmington and eventually down toward Baltimore. And as simple as this section looks, the next few miles are about to stack a lot of decisions together pretty quickly. Up ahead now is a busy junction where several major routes come together. You have the connection to Route 141 toward Newport, I-95 South toward Baltimore, and I-95 North and I-495 toward Wilmington and Philadelphia. This is one of those places where lane choice matters early, because waiting too long forces sudden moves, and sudden moves are exactly what you try to avoid in a truck. I usually like to slide toward the second lane from the right around here if traffic allows it. That position gives me options. I can stay straight, move right if needed, or adjust left without getting boxed in. But as you can see, sometimes the road does not give you that opening right away. So instead of forcing it, you just ride your current lane, keep scanning mirrors, and wait for the moment that makes sense. And right here is another thing. The road quietly teaches you. Patience is not passive. Patience is active attention. You are still working, still reading traffic, still planning the next move. And that mindset becomes even more important the closer we get to the end of the trip. Up on the right is Exit 4B toward Route 58, Churchman's Crossing, and the Stanton area near Newark, Delaware. This part of northern Delaware is packed with shopping centers, commuter traffic, and connections feeding into Wilmington, so even when the highway is moving, things can tighten quickly around these exits. You always want to watch for sudden braking here, especially from drivers realizing at the last second that this is their turnoff. Nothing unusual right now, though. Traffic is flowing steadily, and steady is exactly what you want late in the day like this. Because smooth miles help keep your mind calm, and calm focus is everything once fatigue starts creeping in. Off to the left is the President Biden Welcome Service area, positioned so it can serve traffic in both directions of the interstate. That setup is actually pretty convenient, because drivers heading north or south can both reach the same stop without leaving the highway system. Places like this become landmarks in your memory after years on the road. You stop there enough times, and it stops feeling like just another building. It starts feeling like part of the rhythm of the job. And rhythm is important out here, because once your rhythm slips, mistakes try to slip in with it. Now we are approaching exit 1A and 1B toward Newark and Middletown, and you can see heavy construction in this area. Speed drops to about 55 miles per hour, and there is usually photo enforcement watching closely, so this is not the place to get careless with the throttle. Work zones always demand respect. Lanes narrow down. Workers are nearby, and the reaction space disappears fast, so I keep the speed steady and eyes moving. Because the goal here is simple: get through clean, calm, and without surprises. And just ahead of us sits another important marker, the state line. Because once we pass the next toll, we leave Delaware and enter Maryland. And mentally, that always feels like this leg of the trip is entering its final chapter. We are approaching exit 109 for Route 279, which leads to Newark, Delaware, and Elkton, Maryland. This is where I begin preparing to pull off for a break. I like stopping around here for a few reasons. There are solid truck stops, decent parking most of the time, and places where you can actually get a real meal instead of just fast food. When you drive routes like this regularly, you start planning your showers, food, and rest around specific locations that you trust. That is part of the routine of over-the-road life that people outside trucking do not always see. The road is not just about driving. It is about managing yourself mile by mile so you can keep doing the job safely. And this right here, this is where we close out hour 4 of the trip. So far today, we have pushed through heavy traffic, tight corridors, bridges, tolls, and the mental fatigue that quietly builds during a long run. But the real shift is about to happen next. Because in the next hour, daylight fades, the road gets darker, traffic changes personality, and the whole drive starts to feel less like movement and more like a long, quiet conversation with the night. That is where this journey turns into something closer to a rolling late-night podcast from the highway, and the thoughts get a little deeper than just exits and traffic patterns. So if you've been riding along with me this far, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and drop a comment letting me know where you are watching from. And then get ready, for the journey will continue after my break. Stay tuned for that next leg of this journey, because hour 5 is where the road stops talking loudly and starts talking quietly instead. I will see you in the next hour.